Today, I would love to speak about why it's important to follow your call for awakening first, but then your call to become a healer. And I'm not speaking about specifically becoming a shamanic healer because I'm running a course. That's not the point. Becoming a healer, it's not adding an extra certificate, an extra piece of paper, an extra label to all the things that you're already doing in your life. It's the general importance of helping others that we know, but also connected with an inevitable topic, which is suffering in life, which is something that cannot be avoided in general. It's something that is connected with our own life from the beginning. We cannot deny that giving birth and coming to life, coming to the world requires an effort. It's not an easy process, sometimes more or less according to mothers, to their physical situations, to the child when it's coming. Then we move to the childhood, which has elements of suffering as well, difficulties. Adulthood, I mean, all the different phases, and within them we have all our challenges, our difficulties, and sometimes it seems that things have aligned. They are finally I've managed to go over this situation and achieve something, and we feel that things are in a kind of way stable, but of course it's just the appearance. Also because when they are stable for too long, then they can become stagnant. And also because the situation when things seems aligned and we have this not real sensation that we have reached happiness, then we are go back again in another change. We are go back again. The wave, we know the wave of life goes up and down. And then there is always that sensation of not satisfaction. I say, why do I need to go through this again? I've already passed through that for so many years, and now again and again. But the real happiness is actually accepting and being in the moment and accepting that suffering is inevitable. We just need to decide to accept it as a matter of fact and find our balance in the going up and down, and going into the underworld, if we need to speak from a shamanic perspective, and going to the upper world, and finding the balance, so finding the ability of being able to being in the present moment, which is a concept that is connected not just with shamanism, but for example with Buddhism, with other philosophies or religions, or simply ways of living life, because it's very difficult to do that. It's very difficult to be present in the moment, because the majority of times when we are doing something, our mind is already involved in something else, or physically, literally, we are doing something at the computer, at the laptop, but at the same time we have different windows open for which we are searching for something else, or we are surfing the web, we are on social media on our phone, at the same time our mind is involved in something else. Our mind space is occupied by, scientifically they say 36,000 thoughts per day, which is quite scary. And we're thinking, how am I capable to think about so many things within a day? Well, yes, because our mind is repetitive. We tend to think about the same things again and again and again. And especially when we need to make a decision. Is it the right things to do? What if I need to observe these things from this perspective, from the other one? What will the other think? But what if the conditions are not favorable? Okay, I decide to do A. What can happen? What about instead? So I'm about to make this decision, and then the mind comes and plays fears inside ourselves. So it's a constant roundabout. It's a constant monkey mind. How is it called? But that's why, for example, when one of the disciples of Buddha's in one of the stories was asking Buddha, what is exactly that you do and the people around you? And his answer was extremely simple. We walk, we eat, and we sleep. he replied something similar. And then, of course, that person was just astonished and say, okay, what's the difference compared to what we all do? So why are you special? Why do you have followers, people following you, following your teachings? And the answer was very simple, because when we are eating, we are there present in the moment. When we are walking, we are there present in that moment. And many of us, myself as well, when we are walking, our mind is somewhere else. We are not connected with our feet. We are not connected with our body. We are not listening to what our body is doing. We are thinking about what we need to do for the rest of the day. We have ideas coming through. We are thinking about the destinations, where we are going. I'm late, I'm early, about catching a bus, going into a place. So this capacity of being present in the moment where we are, it's also useful because we become able to accept the present moment, and we also become able to accept suffering as a matter of fact, as a matter of one of the things that is part of life, not something that corresponds to a bad moment, to a negative moment, because otherwise then we have the label, the challenging definition of the mind that is condemning what is happening to us, and there is also then the dissatisfaction and the hope that this moment is going to finish, possibly soon, but then it will restart again. It's just a matter of fact, like, for example, if we, what we normally do is, for example, in seasons when it's cold, and now it's spring. And for example, where we are, when we are in Scotland, we start complaining about the fact that it's spring, yes, but it's cold. It shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be a little bit warmer. So why do we still have the temperature of winter? And our mind goes on in endless conversation, but still also we complain about winter, about the fact that it's cold in winter. How should it be? This winter is colder than last year, or it's the hottest winter, the coldest winter, and then there are all the statistics coming in. And then it means that our mind is occupied for the majority of our time by these thoughts, by the fact that it's winter and it's cold. Yes, it's winter and it's cold. If we think, for example, about those countries where they live and there is no heating, some areas of India or Nepal, even worse, in Nepal or in Tibet, at 4,000 meters on a mountain, and people living there in the villages have no heating. And they don't pass their own life occupying their mind about the fact that it's cold and there should be the heating. They just cover themselves more. They just put on more layers. And so this is also connecting back with the initial topic of suffering. What's happening? How our mind is reacting when there is suffering in front of us. We keep complaining. But if we find ourselves in a moment where we are experiencing suffering, it means that the conditions could have not been different, because we have created the cause and the conditions applied for which this situation could happen. But we normally then occupy our mind saying, okay, so why did it happen? What should I change? And this is fine, partially, because of course, if something is coming to us, it means that there is a reason behind, which is not logical only, which is not practical only. There are emotional reasons. There are things that our body is trying to communicate to us. And in this present moment, where we are experiencing the results of the past, we have actually the free will in this present moment, because by trying to understand what's happening to us, we can avoid, partially at least, that is going to happen again in life. Then, of course, I wouldn't say the problem, but the fact how the karma works is that now in the present time we are experiencing some conditions that have become ripe from the past, but some others are not mature yet. For some others, we still require time for us to experience them, and this will happen in the future. So there will never be a moment in which we are free from this samsara of suffering, unless it's the last moment when we are able to go out from the cycles of samsaras, from the cycles of reincarnations, which is the moment when then we become a bodhisattva, we reach enlightenment, and then according to the different schools, for example, in Buddhism, we decide from the Mahayana either to come back and help others, or in the Hinayana, end of the story, we go to the nirvana, to the paradise, however you want to call it, and we don't need to come back. So this is according to the different visions. So why is important to become a healer if you feel the call this life? Because it's in our power, the ability to help others for what we can, because some people are not able to free themselves. So then here, of course, there is the difficulty because we cannot take on all the sufferings of others. Then, of course, we have the empathy. We can empathize with others. We can help them also in a simple way, not necessarily just only becoming a healer. In a simple way, in a practical way, we can help other people. But then we cannot do the whole work on behalf of others, because then people need to heal themselves, help themselves, save themselves, but we can support them, but we can help. And as a healer, we can give them the tools. Of course, at the beginning of this process, we need to heal ourselves first, because otherwise we are coming with all our wounds, we are not stable, we are not grounded, we are not balanced, and we haven't healed ourselves, and then we pretend to heal others. Healing ourselves doesn't mean to sort out all our inner imbalances in one time and then the work is done. But at least to have reached a level of awareness and consciousness, being aware that I'm fine with all the things that I have. I've worked a lot. I've worked to solve, let's say, the deepest parts of my suffering. And now I'm able to be stable and in balance on my own mud. And I'm able to navigate through my own mud in a way from which I have a certain inner calmness and balance and clear mind about helping others. And this is exactly where the process of the healer is coming, where the process of using all the skills that you have inside yourself, because we feel sometimes that we have skills inside ourselves for which it comes natural for us to heal others, for which it comes natural. We have, for example, we know that we have power in our hands to heal others. Or we are very good with our words. We are very good in speaking with people, in being understood by people, in showing our emotional side to people, in understanding them, in supporting them, in finding the solutions for them. And so we need to be able to use these skills to help others. That's why it's important to take this opportunity that has been given to us in our life, and then to decide to embark on a journey to become healer. Then, of course, if you decide to go into the shamanic path, the first phase, the first process is a hard one. It's a difficult one because you're really going down into the deepest part of ourselves. You have lots of initiations, lots of sufferings, lots of loss, because the shamanic path is the path of the warrior, is the path of the strong human being that is coming out from each situation as a winner, and not as a winner from the ego point of view, but as a winner over your own mind, as a winner over your own suffering. And over there, it means that you have this element of choosing as a free will to help others, and being able to learn all the tools, all the external tools that, for example, the shamanic path is able to give you, is able to support you with, so that you can help yourself and others. And the shamanic path gives you tools that are a little bit out of the box, a little bit more connected with elements that I would say are connected with the magic. And the magic is not witchery, is not something that cannot be explained. It means to be able to align and understand that ourselves are just vehicles, are just tools, because it's the spirits, they are the spirits doing the work. And we are just simply placing ourselves at disposal of that. But we are able to solve the situation not using our mind, because we cannot solve the problem using our mind. We cannot use techniques that come from our mind to solve a problem that has been produced and caused by our mind, by the mind of the person that is in front of us, of the client that is in front of us, of the person that requires our attention and help. We need to use other tools, and that it means to have this immense faith in the images, learn how to read the images, learn how to decode the images, learn to accept the change, to be able to step into the void, to be able to find the light from the darkness, and then to be able to teach this to others. Because if we keep it only to ourselves, that's not the point. We cannot live in a condition for which we think, I've done the job, I'm not going to share it with anyone else. That's not the point. It means you haven't done the job at all. It means you haven't learned anything at all. There is always this opportunity of sharing things with others and helping them with others, because you are helping that person, then someone else will help you in another way. That's why we are creating this amazing ripple effect, for which we are able to constantly generate this light. And we are giving light. The more we receive, the more then it is transmuted. And we always need to remember that we are not alone in this process, because the spirits are always with us. But the fact is that how often do we think about the universe, what's out there, what's out, who is helping us, then regardless of how you call it, regardless of what you believe, who is supporting you, how many minutes during the day you just decide to dedicate yourself and you stop and you just say, thank you, universe, for whatever you have given to me. Because when there is that sense of happiness, we are achieving something, we are obtaining something in our life, we have that moment of being proud. And maybe we don't think about saying, thank you, universe, I'm full of gratitude. I'm in that moment of extreme happiness, and I'm full of gratitude about that. So I'm going to do more. So I'm on the right path. It means that even if I need to wait, because that, of course, it's where the element of patience is coming through. And sometimes, especially nowadays, people always pretend to get a result quick and fast. Yes, but I've been doing this for months. Months are not enough. Sometimes we need to do things for years, because that's where we are able to create the conditions. And there is where exactly our faith can become so strong that we are never going to quit 1 minute before the success, 1 minute before we obtain something. And this is just not a test for which the universe is bad and wants to make us having a difficult moment. It's just creating conditions for us to become stronger and stronger and stronger, so that then whatever comes into our life, we are able to face it and welcome and accept it with a smile.